Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. The current time is 5:52 p.m. on Sunday, June 30th, 2024. And as you can see, National Hurricane Center is still issuing advisories for Atlantic on Hurricane Beryl and newly designated Tropical Depression 3. Now, Tropical Depression 3 is over here in the Gulf of Mexico. This was formerly Invest 94L, which has organized itself rapidly and organized itself into a tropical depression. Then we have Beryl right here, which is bearing down on the Windward Islands. Conditions are going to start going downhill quickly if you're in the Windward Islands, if you're in Barbados, or anywhere along there. And then we still have Invest 96L over here as well. So we're going to go over all these systems, but first, let's start off with Category 4 Hurricane Beryl. So Beryl became a Category 4 at about 1 p.m. today. It was actually a special update, a special advisory that had to be issued for Beryl because of what's going on, because it explosively intensified overnight. Remember when I made the video, it was Category 1. I made the last video. Now it is a Category 4. 960 millibars, 130 mile per hour winds. Let's just go over here. So, as of the 5 p.m. Atlanta Standard Time, Sunday, June 30th, 2024, 2024 not Outlook, advisory. Its location was 11.1 degrees north, 56.5 degrees west. It was moving west-northwest at 18 miles per hour. Its minimum pressure is 960 millibars, and its maximum sustained winds are at 130 miles an hour. Now let's go into the public advisory number 9 on Major Hurricane Beryl. The headline for this advisory is Extremely Dangerous Category 4 Beryl Approaching Windward Islands. Life-threatening winds and storm surge expected there beginning early Monday morning. I will likely be setting up a live stream here sometime tomorrow for the anticipated landfall of Beryl. So stay tuned to the channel for that. That will probably start at noon. We'll go over all the latest information from the 11 a.m. advisory, any recon data that's come out recently, any of that stuff. So let's go into where it is now. Summary of the 5 p.m. Atlanta Standard Time 2100 information. Its location is 11.1 north, 56.5 west. It is about 250 miles or 400 kilometers southeast of Barbados. It's about 350 miles or 565 kilometers east-southeast of St. Vincent. Its maximum sustained winds are 130 miles per hour or 215 kilometers per hour. Its present movement is west-northwest or 280 degrees at 18 miles per hour or 30 kilometers per hour. And its minimum central pressure is 960 millibars or 28.35 inches. Watches and warnings. Changes with this advisory. The government of the Dominican Republic has issued a tropical storm watch from Punta Palenque westward to the border with Haiti. Tropical storm watch has also been issued for the entire south coast of Haiti from the border of the Dominican Republic to Anse de Hagnout. I probably mispronounced that. Don't come after me in the comments. Summary of watches and warnings in effect. A hurricane warning is in effect for Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadine Islands, Grenada, Tobago. A tropical storm warning is in effect for Martinique. A tropical storm watch is in effect for Dominica, Trinidad, south coast of the Dominican Republic from Punta Palenque westward to the border of Haiti. South coast of Haiti from the border with the Dominican Republic to Anse de Hanu. A hurricane warning means that hurricane conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area. Preparations to protect life and property should be rushed to completion. If you're in the area of Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadine Islands, Grenada, and Tobago, you guys maybe have less than 12 hours to get out. Get out now. Get out of the path of Beryl. I have the Saffir-Simpson scale pulled up here. Category 4. Last night, but we're going to go over it again. 130 miles per hour to 156 miles per hour. Catastrophic damage will occur. Well-built framed homes can sustain severe damage with loss of most of the roof structure and or some exterior walls. Most trees will be snapped or uprooted and power poles down. Fallen trees and power poles will isolate residential areas. Power outages will last weeks to possibly months. Most of the area will be uninhabitable for weeks or months. And while it is highly, highly unlikely, Category 5, 157 or higher, catastrophic damage will occur. A high percentage of frame domes will be destroyed with total roof failure and wall collapse. Fallen trees and power poles will isolate residential areas. Power outages will last for weeks to possibly months. Most of the area will be uninhabitable for weeks or months. That is wording from National Hurricane Center while creating the Saffir-Simpson scale. Tropical storm warning means that tropical storm conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area within 36 hours. A tropical storm watch means that tropical storm conditions are possible within the watch area, generally within 48 hours. Interests elsewhere in the Western Antilles, Hispaniola, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and the remainder of the northwestern Caribbean should closely monitor the progress of Beryl. Additional watches and warnings may be required tonight or on Monday. For storm information specific to your area, please monitor products issued by your National Meteorological Service. Now we move into the discussion and outlook. At 5 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, the eye of Hurricane Beryl, I know it says center, but you'll see him at why I said eye. The eye of Hurricane Beryl is located near latitude 11.1 north, longitude 56.5 west. Beryl is moving toward the west-northwest near 18 miles per hour. A continued quick westward to west-northwestward motion is expected during the next few days. On forecast track, the center of Beryl is expected to move across the Windward Islands Monday morning and across the southeastern and central Caribbean Sea late Monday through Wednesday. Maximum sustained winds are near 130 miles per hour, 215 kilometers per hour with higher gusts. Beryl is a Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Fluctuations in strength are likely during the next day or so, and Beryl is expected to remain an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane through landfall in the Windward Islands. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 30 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 115 miles from the center. The estimated minimum central pressure is 100, not 160, 960 millibars. Now we're going to go into the hazards affecting land here for Beryl. Wind. Hurricane conditions are expected in the hurricane warning area beginning early tomorrow morning. Potentially catastrophic wind damage is expected where the eye wall at Beryl moves through portions of the Windward Islands, with the greatest risk of the core in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada. Wind speeds in the top and on the windward side of hills and mountains are often up to 30% stronger than the near surface winds indicated in this advisory, and in some elevated locations could be even greater. Tropical storm conditions are expected in the tropical storm warning area starting late tonight, making outside preparations difficult or dangerous. Tropical storm conditions are possible within the watch area starting late tonight for Dominica, Trinidad, and by Tuesday afternoon for parts of the southern coast of Hispaniola. Storm surge. A life-threatening storm surge will raise water levels by as much as 6 to 9 feet above normal tide levels in areas of onshore flow near where the eye makes landfall, in the hurricane warning area. Near the coast, the surge will be accompanied by large and destructive waves. Rainfall. Hurricane Beryl is expected to produce rainfall totals of 3 to 6 inches across Barbados and the Windward Islands through Monday. Localized maxima of 10 inches is possible, especially in the Grenadines. This rainfall may cause flash flooding in vulnerable areas. We're not going to go through that. Surf. Large swells generated by Beryl are expected across the Windward and Southern Leeward Islands during the next couple of days. Swells are also expected to reach the southern coast of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. Excuse me. And Hispaniola in the next day or so. These swells are expected to cause life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. Please consult products from your local weather office. Next advisory. Next intermediate advisory is at 8 p.m. and the next complete advisory is at 11 p.m. So with that being said here, let's take a look at the forecast advisory. So 125 knots is the peak here that National Hurricane Center is predicting. We put that into conversion. That's about 145 miles per hour. That's a mid-end Category 4 hurricane here. 125 knots right there. That's our expected peak here before it goes downhill. And this is the extended outlook. No errors or track have averaged near 125 nautical miles on day 4 and 175 nautical miles on day 5. And for intensity near 15 knots each day. So, day 4, we're expecting an 85. Oh my gosh. I apologize. 85, that's still about 100 mile per hour category 2. Then 60 knots, that's weakening it down to a tropical storm. But our peak is 145 miles per hour here with Beryl. Now let's take a look at the cone of Hurricane Beryl. And as you can see now, Jamaica is in the cone. if you're in Jamaica, you need to start thinking about where you're going to go. Because this is still expected to be a hurricane here. As it goes over you, this is expected to still be a hurricane. Also, notice the tropical storm watches that have been issued up here for the Dominican Republic and Haiti. So stay well to the south of Puerto Rico. If you're in the Grenadines or Barbados or the Leeward Islands, prepare now. You have maybe 12 hours. Know where you're going tonight. If you're riding out the storm, know where you're going. Get into that place and hunker down tonight. You do not want to be up and around when Beryl is at your doorstep. Because even though the hurricane force winds only extend outward 30 miles from the center, that's still enough room. And either way, you're still going to get tropical storm force winds, especially if an eye wall replacement cycle occurs, which it has not done yet. But with major hurricanes, it's almost anticipated that we will eventually see a eye wall replacement cycle occur in Beryl. Now, the key messages. Beryl is expected to remain an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane when it reaches the Windward Islands. This is a very dangerous situation. Residents in these areas should listen to local government and emergency management officials for any preparedness or evacuation orders. All preparations should be rushed to completion today. 2. Potentially catastrophic hurricane force winds, a life-threatening storm surge, and damaging waves are expected when Beryl passes over portions of the Windward Islands, with the greatest risk of the core in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Grenada beginning early tomorrow morning. Hurricane warnings are in effect for much of the Windward Islands. Heavy rainfall and localized flooding are expected across the Windward Islands through Monday. Beryl is expected to remain a powerful hurricane as it moves across the Caribbean Sea later this week. A tropical storm watch has been issued for portions of the southern coast of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Interstellar and Hispaniola, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, and the remainder of the northwestern Caribbean should monitor the progress of Beryl. And I want to point something else out as well. If we go back to the cone here, you can see by 2 p.m. on Friday, it's a tropical storm, but look where it's at. It's about to enter the Gulf of Mexico. And some models are beginning to curve it up towards the north and make a landfall somewhere within the United States. Now, this might not happen. Could very well not happen. But if it does, it has the potential to begin to start re-strengthening again. So I'm not saying it yet. Take it with a grain of salt. But Louisiana and Texas coast, you guys need to start preparing. Now you guys have dealt with this stuff before, especially Texas with Harvey, and then get that Alberto wasn't a landfall for you guys, but you still got most of the rain associated from Alberto. So you guys need to watch up in this general area up here, just in case Beryl does decide to take a northward turn. Nope, no. Take me back to the National Hurricane Center. Thank you. Now let's move on over to Tropical Depression 3. This is newly designated as of 5 p.m. So, as of the 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time advisory, its location is 19.7 north, 94.9 west. It's moving west at 12 miles an hour. Its minimum central pressure is 1,006 millibars, and its maximum sustained winds are at 35 miles an hour. Take a look at the advisory. Tropical depression forms over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. Potential for heavy rainfall and flooding over portions of eastern Mexico. So the summary of the 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time advisory on Tropical Depression 3. Location, we already went over that. It's about 185 miles or 300 kilometers east-southeast of Tuxpan, Mexico. Its maximum sustained winds are at 35 miles an hour or 55 kilometers an hour. Its present movement is west at 12 miles per hour. Its minimum central pressure is 1,006 millibars, 29.71 inches. So the government of Mexico has issued a tropical storm warning from Cabo Rojo south to Puerto Veracruz. That was awful pronunciation, but so the summary of watches and warnings in effect for Tropical Depression 3. A tropical storm warning is in effect for Cabo Rojo to Puerto Veracruz. A tropical storm warning means that tropical storm conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area, in this case within the next 12 hours. For storm information specific to your area, please monitor products issued by your National Meteorological Service. At 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time, the center of Tropical Depression 3 was located near latitude 19.7 north, longitude 94.9 west. The depression is moving toward the west near 12 miles per hour. This general motion should continue until it dissipates over eastern Mexico late Monday. Maximum sustained winds are near 35 miles per hour with higher gusts. Some strengthening is expected, and the cyclone is forecast to become a tropical storm before it reaches the coast later tonight. The system is expected to weaken and dissipate after it moves inland over eastern Mexico. The estimated minimum central pressure reported by aircraft reconnaissance is 1,006 millibars. Now the key messages. Rainfall. Tropical Depression 3 is expected to produce rainfall totals of 48 inches across portions of eastern Mexico into Monday, with localized maximum totals of 15 inches possible. This rainfall will result in areas of flooding, with mudslides possible in areas of higher terrain. Then the wind. Tropical storm conditions are expected in the warning area later tonight. The next intermediate advisory is at 7 p.m. CDT, 8 p.m. Next complete advisory is at 10 p.m. CDT or 11 p.m. Now, if and when this thing forms into a tropical storm, it will get the name Chris. So we will have Alberto, Beryl, obviously, and Chris out of the way. Forecast advisory, I'm not really expecting much. Yeah, 35 knots, which is 40 miles per hour. Which that isn't even a hurricane. That's a low end tropical storm. So let's take a look at the cone. And yeah, it's what you'd expect. Landfall is around 1 p.m. today or tomorrow. I think that's Central Daylight Time. I'm fairly certain that's Central Daylight Time. So landfall of troubled Russian 3 potentially soon be Chris is at 1 a.m. tonight or 2 p.m. Eastern. And you could also see there the tropical storm warnings that are in effect right here. I don't know why it's that large. I don't think this is supposed to be that large of a system. But now let's take a look at Beryl right now. I'll let the infrared load. But as you can see, this thing has a well-defined eye now. If you remember last night when I posted the video, you could barely see the eye starting to poke through. Now you can see right through the eye with a well-defined eye wall surrounding it. Let me pause it. Right there is the eye wall surrounding Beryl. Now it does look like the eye is starting to shrink or like shrivel up. It's not as circular as it once was, and that could be indicating two things. It could either be dry air starting to infiltrate the system, or it could be an eye wall replacement cycle starting. But you can clearly see the eye wall in Dover arc imagery here, with the eye being visible. Take a look at visible satellite imageries. And once again, it's what you'd expect with a major hurricane. With you being able to see the ocean floor. And let's change it to the visible shortwave imagery. I'm gonna let it load up here. But as it crosses over, look at that last frame. That's a classic well-defined eye there. Clouds are starting to move in to this island up here. I think that might be Barbados. Either way, this thing has a well-defined structure now. You can see the circulation just by pausing it. Take a look at the water vapor. Actually, there isn't much dry air surrounding Beryl. Most of it's up here, near Puerto Rico. Most of it's over here and behind Beryl, near where 96L is. Right over here, which we will talk about in a minute. Now let's take a look at the recon. We do have reconnaissance data going in, measuring the winds. So right now they're getting speeds of about 60 to 64 knots. That's the average 10-second flight level wind speed. 60 knots is about 69 miles per hour. And 65 knots is about 74 miles per hour. We can only expect that to increase as time goes on. They have not dropped any drop zones. Here's some of the recon observations. You can clearly see when they aired the storm on aircraft pressure. Pressure. The pressure is this dark line right here. So stable to about right there. That's likely when they entered the storm. Pressure went up. Then it went down. And that's remained stable thus far. As the plane is staying stable. Raw data. I'll view that guide on how to read the data later. I want to see. We can actually view the first mission into Beryl. And this was this morning. This was the one of the flights that left at 4 a.m. And as you can see, clearly this plane is no longer observing Beryl. It's moved out of the area. But as you can see, it was getting about 96 to 113. And even some whites to even pink, indicating 113 knots to 137 knots. As the sound moved through, as you can see there, 960 millibars, which, if we go back over to National Hurricane Center, is what Beryl's at right now. Now, we have another plane that is en route right now to Beryl. They just left, so we should be getting some observations from this plane within the next hour and a half, I'd say. But with that being said here, I'm going to also show you guys the imagery. Actually, you know what? I want to show you guys the intensity guidance. So most of the models are thinking that this will remain a Category 4. Models aren't showing Category 5 anymore, with most of them beginning to level off in Category 3 range about 2 days out. So this will remain a Category 4 for about 2 more days as it moves through the Windward Islands. Then it'll interfere with some shear, which will cause it to weaken. Then by Actually, I'm not sure. Some models will remain a hurricane, but most of them have it becoming a tropical storm by about 120 hours out. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day. So about 5 days out is when most of the models think that this will weaken into a tropical storm. Then some of the models have it starting to re-strengthen over the Gulf of Mexico, which it could happen if we go over to our analysis tools like we did last night. Our ocean North Atlantic. Boom. As you can see, there's very warm waters here in the Gulf where Beryl will be re-entering. 29 to 30 degrees Celsius waters over here, which is pretty concerning. Then the last thing I want to do before we take a look at the models, taking a look at the spade tracks. Most of them, almost all of them are in agreement, making landfall sometime over the next 5 days in the Yucatan and then going into the Gulf. And as you can see, some of these models are starting to curve off up to the north into the Texas areas near Corpus Christi. Those areas that I was discussing last night. So that's something we need to watch carefully there. Now let's take a look at Tropical Depression 3. I'll let it load. As you can see, there isn't much of a center to the system. It looks to me like a bunch of disorganized showers and thunderstorms here. Let's take a look at the visible high res. And yeah, you can see a bit more of circulation. Somewhere right down here. However, it's going to be a quick tropical storm if and when it forms. It's going to be a very quick tropical storm. And it will get the name Chris. Now let's quickly talk about Invest 96L and our system in the Eastern Pacific. So this has a 40% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours. Showers and thunderstorms continue in association with an area of low pressure located several hundred miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. Environmental conditions appear conducive for additional development of the system, and a tropical depression is likely to form by the middle part of this week, while it moves generally westward at 15 to 20 miles per hour across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. Interest in lesser insulation monitor the progress of the system. Formation chance through 48 hours, medium 40%. Information chance through 7 days, high 70%. So this could impact areas that are already getting impacted by Beryl tomorrow. So you guys could get a double punch here from Beryl and our next system over here. Which I don't actually know what the next name is. What's the D name for this year? Should probably pull that up or bookmark it. Alright. This Once this gets named, its name will be Debbie. So we'll have Chris over here likely by 11 or 8. We'll have Beryl over here, and then we'll have Debbie whenever this thing decides to form. And now, finally, to end this video off, we'll take a look at the models here. And actually, before I do that, I forgot about the specific thing. Let's take a look at that. So it has a 0% chance in 2 days and 40% chance in 7 days. As it hasn't developed yet, we're not going to do the whole reading thing, as this video is already getting pretty long. So let's just take a look at the model runs here. GFS. There's Beryl right there. There's Tropical Depression 3. There's 96L. If we move forward in time, Beryl strengthening, maintaining strength. 96L forms into Tropical Depression there. Beryl makes landfall on the southern tip of Texas. 96L goes into the Yucatan, following pretty much the same exact track Beryl does. We have another wave that comes off Africa that doesn't do much at all, actually. Then that's all the model runs we have right now. So anyway, that'll do it for the video, guys. Next video will come out probably around the same time as last night's video did. Until then, peace out.